Welcome to Tarot by the Moon. Hi everyone, it's Tasha at Tarot by the Moon. We are in lovely Pisces season, so happy Pisces season to all my beautiful Pisces people, or anyone with Pisces placements. Happy Pisces season just to anyone and everyone basically, but especially to those that have their birthdays during this month. I think it actually kicked in last Friday, so we're in Pisces Sun for over the next sort of 30 days or so, 20 odd days now or so. The moon is in Scorpio today and tomorrow, I believe, so we're in double water energy today as I record this. It's Monday. It's February. I'm not exactly sure of the date, but it's Monday. It's the end of February. Yeah, we've just gone into Pisces season, you lovely people. And the moon is actually beginning to wane from that lovely full moon energy that we had in the last reading. It's actually starting to ebb out a little bit now and wane a little bit. So I thought it's time for me to come in and see you all and say hi. Thank you so much once again for all the wonderful responses to the last reading. Thank you so much for connecting your wonderful energy with me. I'm so very grateful to each and every one of you. I'm so glad these readings make sense because I never know what's going to come up when I open these channels, as you know. Thank you to everyone who stuck with me. Thank you for all the likes, subscribes and shares. Please continue to like, subscribe and share and comment. It makes a massive difference. Every single one of those actions that you take makes a huge difference, and thank you so much. I'm in such deep gratitude to each one of you. I hope this finds you all well. Hope we're all feeling good. I hope we all navigated that Leo full moon. I hope we've all had a nice weekend. It's Monday today. Now, what was I going to say? Yeah, Pisces season. So it's really super exciting. We've got a new moon next week, but we're still in the waning moon now. So the waning moon this week is a really good week for just a release, okay? Letting go of all we accumulated throughout the course of the last moon. Let it all go now. Time to just let it all go. Let all those wishes go up to the universe. Let all those fears and doubts be taken away from us. On a practical level, I always love this week. This week I love this week. I sort of get an energy of being able to get things done on a practical level, like your housework, any kind of housekeeping at all, whether it's to do with your business, if you know, whatever that housekeeping means to you in any sense, your health, anything like that. If you're trying to detox, this is the best week to start, okay? It's the release. It's the moon is releasing, the energy's getting smaller. If you're trying to go on a diet, it's the best week to start it. If you're trying to organise, yeah, the best week. If you're trying to give your house a good clean, or your garage a good sort out, or your workshop or whatever, now is a good week. The energy will just lend itself to you beautifully and carry you through that, okay? It's very natural because you're releasing with the moon. Bad habits, again, you know, there's a lot more power in it this week, you'll find. So good time to concentrate on any of those sorts of things. And I know we all have little battles with those sorts of things in life. You know, we all have times that we're like, oh, I wish I could just get this done, or I wish I could just release this bad habit, or lose these extra few pounds or whatever. Well, this week it really will just fall away from you so much quicker. And that can include negative thought patterns. That can include big things like holding on to grudges, holding on to past hurt. That can include all of that. This week, if we really ask the universe for support in doing it as well, really reach out from our inside and really ask for help and support in letting go of all that no longer serves us, okay? All those negative habits, all those painful memories, all those people we need to forgive and move on from. You know what I'm saying, because it's all of that kind of energy this week. So I really enjoy it. And again, it's a phase of the moon that doesn't get talked about so much. But I find it's a very useful energy to be in, because before I sort of really got into the rhythm all of this, I used to be trying all the time to do those things, and then you sort of realise there is a right time for release and there's a right time for bringing in. There's an out breath, there's an in breath. This week is time to literally let go of what is no longer serving you, and that could be anything. Like I say, that could be a big thing that you've been carrying around you since childhood. I mean, if you're not ready to release all those things as well, that's okay too. That's okay too. Just release what you can, or just acknowledge that you need to release it. Even sometimes just acknowledging. Hey, Mr. Milo. Hey, Mr. Murray. Sometimes just acknowledging that we need to release it actually does shift it a little bit, and if that's all we can do, then that's enough for now. Okay, that's how the universe takes care of us. What else did I want to say? Pisces season. Pisces season is super exciting. It's super exciting if you've got any interest at all in spiritual matters, which if you're watching this, you surely have. It's the last sign in the zodiac. I always think of it as the energy of old souls. It's the final sign in the zodiac. It's very, very deep sign. It's very, very spiritual energy. It's ruled by Neptune. It's ruled by the planet of gods of dreams, visions. You might find over the next month or so, and I know a lot of people already, and I know I have already as well, had a few really weird and vivid dreams and things like that. You know, in this season, more than any of the others, I think it's important to pay attention to those dreams, and perhaps look into ways of interpreting them and figuring out what your subconscious is trying to tell you, what spirit is trying to tell you, what the universe is trying to tell you there, okay? Not to let it make you crazy either, but you know, to just to try and understand it and work with the energy. It might be a time also where you just want to delve into the deep waters of those spiritual sort of things. You might want to learn some new things. You might want to read those books. You might want to take up those practices. You might find yourself sort of. It's a time for looking at everything through your third eye chakra. Your third eye chakra as well, if you can. If you can even visualize what it might feel like to do that. If you think, oh well, I don't do that. I don't know how to do that, or my my pineal gland is blocked or whatever. Now's the time to look at ways of cleansing that, shifting that. Or again, like I say, if you're ever stuck in a spiritual practice, literally, if you just ask from the core of your being to have help with that, to clear in your third eye, to being shown how to use your third eye, you will find that it comes a lot easier, and you will find that you'll be guided to people, books, podcasts, you name it, that will help you with that. Okay, my loves. So it's a really exciting season for anyone who's got this sort of bent to them, ilk to them. If you're a spiritual sort, Pisces season is super exciting, okay? People get excited at Halloween, all right? And traditionally they think, you types of people get really excited at Halloween. Well, yeah, we do. But also at Pisces season, it's again the underdog of all of that. It's another time of the year where the veil is very, very, very thin, okay? You might get outright spirit messages. You might get outright experiences that cannot be denied, okay? If you've got any mediumistic sort of bit of abilities at all, you'll find they're enhanced over the next month or so. All of those sorts of things, my darling. So it's really exciting, and I'm sure you're all going to have some weird and wonderful encounters with the spirit world, okay? And I'd love to hear about every single one of those, because I absolutely lap that stuff up. I absolutely love it. Please get in touch. I'm going to be starting a course myself next week, and it's literally called Talking to Dead People. So there we go. Thought I'd share that with you. It's starting next week. It's just, I think it's like a 12-week course. But it's something that I've had experience with over the years, that I cannot deny that I have abilities in. But it's something that I've shied away from as well, because I've always felt like shy to attend a church, to have to learn it, and almost a little bit resentful that I have to attend a church. And I'm sorry if that sounds negative, but it's honest. And that's probably just because of my own story and my own blocks and walls that I've built up to those things. But I was just on the verge of joining a spiritualist church, right, after sort of being coshed by spirit into, you really need to start looking at this, Tash, especially after recent events, so losing a few of my friends and having a lot of messages around those areas. And just as I was this is how spirit works, just as I was on the verge of going to a spiritualist church, but not feeling too sure about it, if you know what I mean, I found out about this amazing course. I just found out about it. It was just there. So there we go. That's an example of how spirit works. So I'm going to wait till the new moon to start that, because it's good to wait till the new moon to start any new project. So, but it's within Pisces season, the new moon within Pisces. I've been waiting for the new moon in Pisces season for a couple of months to start it. So there's an example of how you can work with that energy, okay? Yeah, so we're in Scorpio day. We're in a Scorpio day. Now, the only downside, the downside that I've been feeling already of Pisces, and that we need to be careful of, is it's such a dreamy sort of otherworldly energy that it's very, very easy to get lost in sort of fantasy and escapism. And classic example, case in point, myself over the weekend, I never watch more than 2-3 hours of TV. It drives me round the bend, never mind how interesting it is or whatever. And oh my goodness, I went on a proper Netflix binge, which is just totally out of character for me. And oh, well, the weather's bad, well, we can't go anywhere anyway. And it's like, no, it's just never an excuse for me normally there. And then I went, you know what, it's Pisces energy, because I got just totally lost in watching all these fascinating shows. It started off a travel show about Japan, and then 3 hours later I'd gone halfway around the world, which is great and everything, but it's that it would be easy to just dream the entire season away, if you see what I mean. It would be, with Pisces season, it would be so easy to just daydream or get lost in a box sets and whatever, or gaming, and it would be that sort of escapism. It would be so easy to just spend the whole 30 days doing something like that. And that would be a waste of the energy, frankly. Although a little bit of that does you good now and then, no doubt, that would frankly be a waste of that beautiful Pisces energy. So just be aware of getting lost in escapism, is what I've picked up on already. We're only a few days in. But, I'm a water sign myself, so I suppose I'm a little bit more susceptible to that as well. So we're in Scorpio today, we're in Scorpio tomorrow, so that's water as well. So again, these couple of days, be careful of falling into too much escapism, hiding in those sorts of things, okay? Instead of sort of like just realising where we are, taking a big deep breath, realising it's an excellent week, like I say, for releasing stuff. It's an excellent week. If it's just on a practical level and you want to give your house a good spring clean, this is the week to do it. It'll be so much easier to do it, and it'll stay tidier for longer. This is just how the universe works. Or it could be big, huge things, like I say, that you've been carrying around for years that you're ready to release or whatever. But if you are doing a lot of releasing of an emotional nature, do look after yourself. If you're feeling triggered by anything as well, never be afraid to get in touch with me and chat about that, because I'll always point you in the right direction to professional people and professional services that can help you with any sort of triggers of an emotional or traumatic nature that have come up during the reading. Okay, my loves? So just take care of your beautiful selves, as we always say. I'm going to go in now. Thank you for sticking with me through my preamble. We're just going to call in the highest vibration of love and only love into this reading, Tarot by the Moon, for anyone involved with this reading, for anyone concerned with anyone who's involved with this reading. Nothing but the highest vibration of love and compassion for the planet, for the stars, the moon, the sun, for Mother Gaia, for all of the creatures and all of the species that live here, for all of the plant life, for all of the insect life, for all of the animal life, for all of the marine life, for all of the plant life that supports us. Nothing but love. For all of the interdimensional life, for all of the other planets, nothing but love, and radical love at that. Tarot by the Moon. Thank you, my darlings. Right, today we're feeling crystal power, baby. I've got a piece of selenite here. Fabulous crystal to work with. Now, we were talking about a couple of weeks ago, learning when the ebb and when the flow is, and that's what we're trying to learn here. This crystal's a fabulous crystal to work with that, okay? Pisces selenite, I tell you what, it's one of the highest I find is my sensitivity to crystals. This one in particular is the one I feel the highest vibration to. I can remember the first time I ever came across it on a stall in the Big Green Gathering, and it was just like, oh my goodness, if before you were like, oh, I'm not sure about this crystal thing, hold a piece of selenite, seriously. It teaches you about ebb and flow. That's exactly what it teaches you, and it is clearing and cleansing and beautiful, and it's got a beautiful watery energy. In fact, it's formed by layers of salt water that's gathered up and compressed together over time. It's so magical. So it's got beautiful, super watery energy, so it's no wonder that wanted to come in. And we got the Crystal Power Tarot here, so that makes sense as well. Crystal Power Tarot by Jane Wallace is what we're using here today. Okay, so let's see what's coming up for you. Now, in case if you're new and you just tuned in, thank you very much. This is how we do it here at Tarot by the Moon. Keep Spirit Guides Guardian. I only take the flippers and the fallers, my loves. Okay. Let's see what's coming up. Let's see what's coming up for my beautiful soul tribe. Right one. Sometimes they take longer to shuffle than others, okay? And I'll explain to you the reason for that. Sometimes I can shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and nothing's flying out, nothing's coming up. And that is, and I only learnt this really recently from another well-respected, well-established tarot reader who happens to be a personal favourite of mine. Her energy is fantastic. And that I've learned a lot from, and she was saying that it's when you're shuffling and you're shuffling and you're shuffling and there's not much coming up, that's because there's a lot of heavy energy in the collective that you're reading for, and that you need to keep shuffling to cleanse that energy away. Okay, so I thought, do you know what, as soon as she said it, it resonated, and I thought, that's exactly what it is. I get it now. So sometimes, I'll go on and they'll just pop out straight away, and then other times it's shuffle, 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 shuffle. And it just takes a little bit of patience. Okay, it's all part of the art. So for any new viewers, hello and welcome and thank you. What we do the 4 elements. Okay, so we go air, water, fire and earth, and the air represents our thoughts, our mind, our brain, our mental health and how that's all doing. The second one is water, so that represents our heart, our feelings, our emotions and how we're coping with all of that. The third one is our fire, then that represents our creativity, our solar plexus, our willpower and our drive to get things done. And then the fourth element, of course, is earth, and that is how we're manifesting all of this, how we're pulling all this divine energy down into the earth plane, or down onto a practical level on the day-to-day, okay, how we're actually grounding it. So it seems to work. It's what I was guided to sort of do at the beginning. It was how it just came up. I wanted to do something a little bit different to what all the other the bulk of tarot readers on the internet seem to be doing, and it just was a simple idea, but you know what, it seems to be working, so I hope you enjoy it. So King of Cups in reverse has come up in our area of air, so this has come up in our area of our thoughts and our thought processes. Now this is a very emotional card. So this is showing me now quite clearly that our emotions are affecting our mental balance at the minute, all right? And our emotions at the minute, my darlings, now it is Pisces season and it's a purely Pisces card. I mean, This is a very, very Pisces card. Look at this guy. He's like King Pisces. He looks like Neptune himself there. He's sort of coming out of this swirl of sea kelp. This sort of, like he's just sort of come to a curtain of kelp, a kelp forest there or something, and he's holding this goblet in front of him. It did come out in the reverse. Now, whenever I see a King of Cups in reverse, there's a certain feeling of instability that comes along with that, okay? So we might have been feeling and realising that we're allowing this to affect our thought patterns as well. A little bit unstable, a little bit reticent, a little bit not quite able to give yet, okay? Not saying we're not going to be able to give, but that we're at the point where we're not quite able to give yet. Now, it's still very early in Pisces season, so I wouldn't fret too much. There's still time for this beautiful chappy to turn that around, and I'm sure he will as we go on, okay? Now, bear in mind as well, Scorpio day. We're in the next couple of days of Scorpio days, and that is, and we've done readings on Scorpio days here before, and we've talked about it before. That is what we call a deep dive. All right, so you can get, and I know many of you have resonated with this energy when we've gone over it before. You can get quite moody during this energy. It's double deep water we're in at the minute, okay? You can start to think about things that have been unresolved for years or something that hurt you many years ago. You can start to sort of, mood swings are very prevalent during this sort of energy as well. So bear in mind, if you have been feeling a little out of character in any of those ways, it's not just you being a funny bugger, as we say, all right? It's actually the energy that we're in. As I say, we're in the deep water of Pisces season. We've only just waded into that as well, so we're still becoming acclimatised to that. So give yourself a chance to become acclimatised to that. We've spent the last 30 days before in Aquarius, completely different energy. So allow yourself to become acclimatised to this new Pisces energy, okay? Because it is a very beautiful energy, like I say, especially if you're not scared of those deep dives, especially if you're sort of born for it, you know, you've got that interest in spiritual things and going deep and everything. Allow yourself to become acclimatised to it, I'd say, with this. And remember that we're in a Scorpio day as well, so that's giving it an extra depth, all right? That's giving it an extra, it's like Pisces plus, if you can think of it like that, all right? Yeah. Okay, now, you can get, like I say, it'd be so easy in this energy to get completely lost in that kelp forest. They're showing me this kelp forest sort of thing. I don't even know. That's what I'm being shown. No one, you see one of those nature documentaries, it's under the sea, and you've got the kelp forests, and you've got perhaps a deep sea scuba diver going in amongst all the kelp, and it's quite dangerous, quite murky. It's as eerie as any forest on the land, if not eerier. It would be quite easy to get lost in that metaphorical kelp forest at the minute, all right? And go down a bit deeper than you perhaps wanted to. What you've got to remember as well is your own spirit, your own higher self, your own guides won't let you go deeper than what you can handle. So while that might seem daunting, and it certainly isn't for the faint-hearted, diving that deeply into emotions and into past memories and hurts and things like that, they won't let you take more than you can handle, okay? Than you can bear, all right? But, you know, like I say, don't over-worry it, because if we over-worry about it, we're just going to make it worse and everything as well. Don't over-worry about it. Realise that we're just becoming acclimatised to that new, deep, watery energy as well. It's very mysterious, okay? I'm going to move on to the next one, my lovely. Now, Queen of Wands has also come out in the reverse. Queen of Wands is a fantastic energy. She's come up here in our area of water. It's actually a very fiery card. Alright, she's a beautiful queen. She's one of the most magical of queens, actually, of the 4 queens. They're all magical, obviously, but this one is like queen of magic. This is the phoenix rising from the ashes kind of energy that you've got, the Queen of Wands, alright? literally she's got that Midas touch. She's very magnetic, she's very charming, she's very in her element there. But she came out in the reverse as well, and this is what I'm feeling. And it's no wonder during this season that we're feeling that. She's come out in the reverse, so she's feeling a bit off kilter as well. So this has come up in our area of our heart and our feelings. So there's a little bit of a sense of so I'm getting like a foreboding sort of energy I'm picking up here. Okay, you might be feeling a little bit like, oh, you know, I don't want to, a foreboding, or what's next? I feel a bit daunted. I feel a little bit of fear there even. Okay, and you know, that's what we don't want. That is what we don't want. But however, we are in the season for dealing with that, okay? And we are in the energy for just dealing with that and understanding that we can navigate that deep water. We can go forward. We can turn this around. There's going to be plenty of time to sort of acclimatise ourselves and turn ourselves around. This is why I'm glad I've come on and done it now, right at the beginning of the Pisces season and before the new moon. Because we've got a new moon next week, so there'll be a new moon in Pisces, okay? So it's important that I've come on today to help us all to release what needs to be released before we go into that new moon. And then we'll be able to turn these beautiful energies around. Okay, my darlings? We'll be able to turn them around. So think of this week now up till the new moon, which I think is next Tuesday. And it's Monday today, so we've got a week, yeah, to release. And I mean, any releasing at all that you can do will back up any other releasing that you're doing. So if you're wanting to release, like I say, a deep wound from the past that's come back to haunt you during Scorpio, Pisces time here, okay? All right, and you found yourself feeling really down about that and feeling really moody about that or whatever. If you can just release even part of it, if you can just acknowledge that it needs releasing, that will help it to release. Any work at all you can do around the releasing is going to be good. If then you want to go, right, I've thought about that enough now, it's driving me crazy, and then just go and clean a cupboard out that's been bugging you. That will help the big thing to release. It'll all add to that releasing energy, okay? And just keep doing more and more of that releasing energy. I'm so glad I've come on you today, like I say, because this is showing me quite clearly now that whatever it is we're feeling we need to release, okay, to bring these two beautiful aspects of ourselves back into balance, which we surely will. It's, you know, because when we've got a Queen of Wands in reverse, I want to say that feels like a blocked out creativity as well. And that will affect us emotionally. This is something, so when I say a blocked out creativity, I mean creativity as well. That's very often linked to our emotions. So this might be something that you, like, for instance, an artist. If you're a bit of an artist or something like that, this is something that you put yourself into. All right, this is not just something that you do. This is something that you are, or you're a healer, or any of those kinds of things. This is something, or a musician, you know, anything like that you actually do that's creative, and that is like you, an extension of you. That might be feeling a bit blocked at the minute. All right, and that's okay. That's perfectly natural. That's where we're at. Just recognise where we're at and work with it. All right. So we've got a whole week now to release any blocks around that. And get that beautiful creative energy going again, and we surely will, because next week's the new moon, and that's what it's all about. We're around again, yeah. So this week now, just like all that energy that you've built up during the last moon as well, just you've accumulated, or every 28 days we accumulate all of these energies, and then there's the full moon, and then we release, and then the moon recedes, and we're releasing, and we're releasing, and we're releasing, all the way back down to a tiny little crescent again, okay? And then we'll come back up again with a new moon. So all of this releasing, down it'll go by increments, day by day. As you actually look at the moon in the sky, as it gets smaller, if you can imagine what it is that you're trying to release, going further away, receding, growing smaller, yeah? This really works. That energy will actually take it away for you, okay, and help you to release that. Hope this makes sense. Seven of Pentacles in reverse also. Now, Seven of Pentacles is about working really hard, doing pretty good, seeing results, but it's a little bit boring, but it's a little bit of a tedious energy, and if you're not careful, that can turn into a little bit of a soul destroying sort of feeling. You know you're going the right way, alright? You know you're going the right way. You know you've got to keep going. You can't throw the towel in now. You know you've just got to keep doing what you're doing. It's that kind of energy too. It's come up in the reverse, so there's a feeling of what you don't want to do is give up now. This has come up in the area of passion and creativity as well. This has come up in our mojo area, alright? So what you don't want to do is stop now. Alright? This is to do with work of some kind. Now this could be work that you're doing on yourself, so it could be emotional. This could be work that you're integrating your shadow and this sort of work. It could be that. It could be work of a practical kind, of a day to day, of how you earn your crest and whatever. And this week's going to be quite hard. This is what it's shown me. This week feels quite hard. This week, all of that feels a little bit boring, to be honest with you, is the feeling I'm getting with it. A little bit tedious, a little bit tiring. Bear in mind as well, as the moon grows smaller, especially depending on how highly affected you are by the moon, depending on where you've got Cancer in your chart or, whatever, I recommend you all to have a proper look at your horoscope chart. If you look at michelleknight.com, Michelle with one L, I believe she will do you an astrology chart for free if you get in touch with her. Very, very accurate. Anyway, if you can have a look at where the water is in your chart, and particularly the Cancerian energy, you'll figure out why it is you're feeling tired and what areas of your life you're feeling tired in. So I always get quite tired as this phase of the moon sort of peters out. I'm okay now this week. Like I say, if anything, I can make quite good use of this energy and all the releasing of it. And it does feel like you're getting lighter and lighter as the week goes on. But by the end of the week, it is like, it's that certain aspect of your energy as well, the spiritual, or for me it is. It's like that'll drop right down again, you know. And things can feel tedious. And like I say, it can be the practical everyday things that you need to sort out or whatever. And you know you need to sort them out. And you know you're going to feel so much better and lighter when you've sorted all of that out. But the actual doing of it can feel quite... can feel quite tedious. And if we allow it to, it can make us feel heavy. Now, if we procrastinate, it's going to get heavier, okay? If we put up a block and refuse to work within these energies... and keep working against, allowing them to work against them instead of working with them, which is what I hope this channel's all about. And me dropping in to do these readings is part of what it's all about. So don't give up, don't do that. And what I will say, and it's one of those readings which literally, again, I couldn't verse it, I could not write it, okay? Quite heavy, difficult energies, all reversed cards coming up in all of our areas there, okay? And then the sun is like the healer. It's like the most positive card in the major arcana. The most positive energy, the sun. Okay. The healer there has come up in the area of earth. Now, it's interesting, isn't it? Because this is how it is. I mean, if we apply everything that we've just talked about, if we take into consideration the position of the moon at the minute, if we take into consideration that we've just moved into the deepest, dark, most spiritual and whatever season of all, Pisces, we've moved into Pisces. If we take into consideration you're in Scorpio days, okay, and then over the next, the first half of this week is a Scorpio vibe as well on top of that. Don't forget as well, Scorpio's about release. Scorpio rules over sex and death in particular, and death is all about release, as is sex very much in many ways, but it's all about that releasing energy, okay? So let it happen, let it work for you, and let us bring us back to the beautiful medicine of the sun. And like I always say to my clients, never mind how difficult, dark or dismal somebody's reading is, okay, if they've got the sun in there, it's like it throws a completely different light. It makes everything okay. It reassures us that everything is eventually going to be okay here in the earth. You're in the where we're manifesting in the so-called 3D energy, okay? Also, it's associated with beautiful Leo energy, the sun, and we've just come out of a Leo full moon. So it couldn't be more perfect because it's showing us that we're releasing the energy that was built up and stored up towards that Leo full moon, and now we're releasing it. We're releasing it with that beautiful King of Cups. Okay, he's a little bit lost in that kelp forest at the minute, but he's not permanently lost. He's going to find his way out of there. That Queen of Wands, she's a little bit off kilter today. She's throwing lightning bolts where she wants to be throwing, sparks or whatever. That's okay, It's all starting to feel like hard work. That's okay as well. Let it go. Let it be released. That sun energy has made my day. It's like, it's understanding as well that it's about playing, it's about the child, it's about that childlike optimism, it's about returning to your innocence, it's about letting go of all this jaded sort of energy of the pain of the past, memories and the mood swings and the I can't, I'm fed up, it's all too tedious, I know I should be sorting things out, but I can't. Well, fine if that's the way you want to play it, just ride the week out that way. But believe you me, if you can manage to, and you know what I'm saying, if you can manage to actually apply any of those principles during this week, oh my goodness, you'll feel so much lighter and fresher going into that new moon energy. Because what we don't want to do, and what we do is we get to a new moon and we're carrying old stale energies into that new moon energy with us. Well, we don't want to do that. We want to release as much as we can that's no longer serving us, from little things to big things, to throwing out that old nail varnish that's gone hard over there away, or to big things like grudges and whatever, away, because they're no longer serving us before that new moon kicks in, all right? And if we let it as well, this beautiful sun energy will come in. If we apply all of this, that beautiful sun energy will manifest. It'll manifest on the day-to-day. We're going to feel lighter. We're going to feel more energetic. We're going to feel warmer and sunnier in our natures. We're going to get back to that inner child. And we're going to be able to go forward into that new moon energy a lot fresher and a lot lighter. And wouldn't it be fab as well if the actual sun came out, because it's been very stormy weather everywhere. Now we, as I say, I live here with my two wolfies, and we fear no storm, as we say. But a storm is a wonderful thing. All the elements are wonderful things. But wow, let's look forward. Let's look forward to the lighter months, the spring months as well, because they're coming in before we know it. Okay, just feels like that. Well, one of my mates pointed out the other day is known as Fool's Spring this time of year, and I thought, yeah, that is pretty accurate. Fair play. Right, my darlings, what I wanted to come in for you today as well was an angel blessing, and I feel like we need some angel blessing after navigating this kelp forest we're in at the minute. Okay, let's see what's coming up with the angel blessings. Two. Lovely. Oh, I was thinking about that earlier on. Funny thing, I was going to put my Tree of Life pendant on, but I didn't. I went with the waning moon. But I thought about it. I thought about the Yggdrasil. I thought about the Tree of Life, and we've got the Tree of Life Angel Oracle blessing. And it says, we are all individual expressions of the same source energy. Embrace your uniqueness. Okay, embrace your uniqueness. You see all these beautiful divine feminine images coming out of that world tree there, and they're all completely unique, and they're all completely beautiful, and they're all completely perfect as they are. Okay, beautiful energy. And the other one was choose life, play your own music, sing your own song, be joyous and love life. Again, that's very individual, isn't it? They go together very well. That's very, let me just pick these up. I don't like to leave them there. Disappeared. I'm coming back now. All right. Okay. Okay. That's very, because that one's saying you're an individual expression, embrace your uniqueness, and the other one is saying play your own music, sing your own song. So that's again about your uniqueness, isn't it? That's about the unique ways. Now again, Pisces season, very spiritual, very creative. So it's a time to celebrate your uniqueness. It's a time to be in your authentic uniqueness. Don't look at what others are doing. Don't look at what I'm doing. Don't look at what she's doing. Don't look at what he's doing. Just do you. Do you, because that would be the absolute right thing. That would be the absolute right thing right now. And I feel like with a Pisces Scorpio energy added to that, and a waning moon energy added to that, that can only bring you joy. Good tip from the angels as well about playing music and singing songs and being joyous and just loving life. The angels often, the angelic codes often come to us through music. Often. I had the urge over the weekend, actually, before I got stuck into my Netflix binging, to play some beautiful, melodic, soft music. It was the music of Mercury Rev, actually. And I tell you what, it completely shifted my vibration, completely shifted. In fact, if I hadn't had that little session there, I don't think I would have got anything practical done around the house, if you know what I mean, because it just gave me that little gentle energetic lift to move around and get things done that I needed to get done, and see what works for you. It could be anything at all. Today, actually, I've had the earworm in my head, very old earworm off a very old album from the 80s. You lot will remember it now. I'm showing my age. Dexy's Midnight Runners. I Believe in My Soul. Till I Believe in My Soul, I believe the track is called. Fantastic track. Mr. Milo. Fantastic track. You've heard it many times. You've heard me singing it, yes. And it's really uplifting. Till I Believe in My Soul. And if you look at the lyrics, look at the words there, you'll see where I'm coming from. Really uplifting, really quite spiritual, really quite deep. You might not realise it at this time. Some of those 80s bands were going quite deep there and everything. And I thought, yeah, wow, that is like a perfect little earworm to get me through the day. And to motivate me to come on here and help with this sort of thing with you guys and everything. Well, I hope it has anyway. And that is how the angels work. That is how messages work. So let it come up, whatever wants to come up for you. You'll find there's lots of inspiration in there and lots of energy in there. And express your fantastic uniqueness. Go ahead and express it, because the world needs that, all right? We all need that. We all need to bounce off each other. That's where the beauty is, in each other's differences, okay, as well as in our similarities. I hope that makes sense to you, and I hope that's some kind of inspiration. Let's go in with, as well, I still feel like we need these romance oracles in, because we're still in, we're still sort of, I always think as well, so people go, February, Valentine's Day, February's the season for love, and Valentine's Day, and we're there. But I always think of it more like as a springtime thing, a spring thing, and I'm sure that's quite correct in the pagan pre-Christian times. That's what Easter's all about, in fact, isn't it? And everything as well is about, sexuality, romance, Beltane as well, leading right up to May. So I always feel like from around about Imbolc or Valentine's Day, if you prefer to think of it as that time, to right up to midsummer, really, is the time for love, is the time for romance. We're in the season. So still feel like these romance angels wanted to be involved today, so there you are. See what's coming up. And of course, these messages that come from these romance angels, yeah, they can be applied to romance, but they can be applied to all sorts of things as well, as we'll see now. Retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. That's a nice one. And that's very in tune with the waning moon as well. You know, it's time to disconnect. Okay. Somebody is wearing a false mask in this relationship. Okay, we'll talk about that now. Let's come back to that. Any more from the romance angels today, please? Any more? Any more messages from the romance angels, please? Oh, that's a lot of stuff now. Okay. Okay. Somebody's love life has been affected by children. And somebody needs to express their love. Okay, that's quite a lot. I didn't expect that. But obviously, this is why they're here. Because somebody needed it and something needed to come up. Okay, this is fair enough. If you're feeling all these deep, moody emotions and you're looking back to the past and you can't let the past go and you're finding all of that different, retreat. It's time to disconnect from the world. You may have somebody that you love very much that you just want to spend time with, just the two of you. Look at that beautiful couple walking away there, okay? Just walking away, cutting themselves off from the world a little bit, just having a bit of a honeymoon, I suppose. That might be wholly appropriate for somebody. This is an interesting one. Someone is wearing a false self mask in this relationship. So this doesn't necessarily mean somebody's like outright telling you fibs, all right? Although if you are having that red flag, do pay attention. What it actually says is someone is wearing a false self mask. So somebody's fooling themselves here, I want to say. Somebody's fooling themselves that they do feel a certain way about somebody, when perhaps they actually don't if they look a bit deeper, or that they actually are in denial, highly likely, and I get that vibe very strongly with this one, that they're in denial about how they actually feel about somebody. So they've gone, oh no, it ain't like that. No, there's nothing going on, you know, as we sort of do on whatever. And maybe if you look a little bit deeper and you do some releasing over the next week or so, you'll be able to see a lot clearer with this beautiful sunlight coming in, all right, what the actual truth of that is and what the actual truth of your feelings are. So this might be a good week for you to do that. Your love life is being affected by children. I love that there's dogs in there as well. Could be being affected by dogs as well, you know, highly likely. That's a tricky subject. That's a tricky subject for anyone, and something that needs to be handled very carefully. However it needs to be handled, okay? It's no good carrying on and not actually addressing the situation. Go ahead and make a romantic gesture. You need to make a romantic gesture. You need to understand that kids are getting in the way. Could, with this energy as well, it could, like, I think that's why they've put dogs on there too. It could be kids. It could be anything to do with family, and very often family don't mean it. They don't intend to do it very often, but very often those sorts of things can get in the way of your love life. So be aware of that and maybe do some releasing around that, or where you can, in any way you can. Mr. Milo completely agrees. This must be an important point because Mr. Milo's just gone bananas. Hey! And he's been getting wound up for the last 5 minutes or so. Come here, you. Good boy. Come and have a look. Come on then. You haven't come to say hello today. Here he is. Right. You might need to do some releasing around Mr. Murray is around there. Around the fact that children, family, other responsibilities are getting in the way of your partnership with somebody, your one-on-one with somebody. It's important stuff, all right? Very often we will build that up to be much bigger than it is in our head as well, like the actual releasing of it. And when you do it, you'll realise, oh yeah, that was all I needed to do was sort of draw a boundary or put a foot down or say no. The Queen of Wands, I'm going to come back to that for a minute because she's all about boundaries. This lady here don't find it no problem at all to draw a boundary when there needs to be a boundary set, okay? Now, she did come up in the reverse, so somebody might be finding that quite difficult at the minute. If you're finding it difficult, like I say, this is a good time to simply ask for help with any and all of that, all right? Ask your angels, ask your guides, ask from your heart. Put your hand, like actually do this as well. Actually put your hand over your heart. When you've given too much of your energy to people and situations, circumstances, and you want to reclaim that energy, you just have a lie down, you have a relax, or any position you prefer to be in, and you put your hand over your heart and then cross your other hand over. That will help you to restore and reclaim, while asking for your energy to be reclaimed that you've given too much of. Okay, my love? That'll recenter you. Just focus on your in-breath and your out-breath and try not to think about anything. You say try not to think about anything. Thoughts will come into your head at the end of the day, but try and just allow them to come up and let them go, all right? Once you've done that, ask your guides and ask your angels to come in and show you how you can navigate this issue, all right? It's something that needs to be addressed, or it wouldn't have come up here today in the reading. Once you've sort of cleared that energy and you've sort of gone, this is getting in the way of me and you, we need to sort of draw a boundary or put a foot down somewhere, you'll find it comes easier once you've decided to do it. Then go ahead and express your love to that loved one in your life, and maybe have that little time out together if you can, even if it's just an hour or two you're there, even if it's a nice little lunch or something, okay? Even if it's just a couple of hours of an evening where you're not getting disturbed by weather, and things like that, where you can just look each other in the face and actually communicate with each other. All right. I hope this helps. I'm being called to do one more, to do this again. I'm being called to do it again. There's something coming up here for somebody. Now, like I say, that Queen of Wands, she's all about boundaries. Somebody who's having a hard time setting boundaries. And during Pisces season as well, I'd like to add, that needs to be watched, because extend your light-hearted energy to others. Get in touch with that inner child. Let that sun shine through. When you let the sunshine energy shine through, that brings the inner child. And then you're able to flirt. Then you're able to extend your light-hearted energy to the one you love, okay? What was I saying about boundaries? Yeah, Pisces. Pisces, that's one of the dangers of Pisces is it's doesn't have boundaries. There's no boundaries. And that, as beautiful as it can be in a spiritual sense, you're attracting romantic love by fully enjoying the moment. So that means, to me, that energy, whenever that card comes up for somebody, that's like, instead of overthinking, instead of going, but when would the kids or the family be in the way of everything, and when are we going to have this retreat? When am I going to get this chance to flirt and express my love to this person that I'm, in love with, or wherever? You get there a lot quicker if you just enjoy where you are right now. So right now you're in a longing. Somebody's longing. I feel like somebody's longing for that. Somebody's just longing for that opportunity, but there's all this other stuff in the way, with the kids in the way, and somebody's not sure about their feelings, and they still need to get clear on that whole thing. Instead of when, all right? Release that now this week. Release it. Release all, because I feel like there's, obviously, if things have been getting in the way of you and your loved one, be it your own kids, somebody else's, his kids, her kids, whoever, family situations and circumstances, that can bring a lot of resentment with it. So we need to release those resentments around it. Okay, those resentments, don't get me wrong, they are probably very rightly, they're there for a reason. That might not be your fault. However, you need to release them. And this week is the easiest week of all. This energy that we're going through over the next week up to the new moon is the energy for releasing all of that. So release all the resentment you've got around maybe somebody else's kids, maybe somebody else's family, maybe your own kids, your own family just driving you a bit crazy there. Release the resentment around it before we get to next week's new moon, or as much of it as you can. And like I say, you can do that in any sort of ways. You can just do that by sorting up your nail varnish drawer or wherever. In any way that you can, all right? As much as you can. And what you can't, or at least don't worry about it. Don't beat yourself up. At least you recognised it. At least you did what you could, all right? Before we get to the new moon energy, all right, of next week. I'm being called to do one more angel blessing. This is, it's never the same twice here, is it? Never ever the same twice here, my love. So let's see what's coming up there. Somebody needs this. Okay. Friendship. Be with friends who will support you and strengthen your solar plexus chakra. Didn't I say that earlier on? Strengthen your solar plexus chakra. Okay. Friends. So very often when we can't navigate these tricky family situations with the kids and with a partner and, right, friends. That's when drop back, call on your friends, all right? Reach out. Now's a good time to reach out to your friends. Your angels are urging you to do it. You'll be reciprocated. You'll have your cup filled back up. You will have that listening ear and that shoulder to cry on. You'll have that support, okay? And if you can't make time for that, even in just a small way or whatever, just remember that they are there and that they are rooting for you and that they do love you and that they've got your best interests at heart. Because very often what happens is we get so bogged down in our life, all right, and we get so, especially a lot of people who are listening to my channel, I know how empathic and giving you guys all are, right, and you might sort of be giving to everyone in your family, in your partner's family, your kids, your job, the animals in your life, all of it, right? And you're looking out for all those people. You know, I'm feeling a very mother hen energy here. You're mother hen in everyone, and that could be a man as well. But that's the energy I'm getting at the minute that I'm being shown to work with. And who's mother hen in you? You know, it's your friends. Your friends are the ones who will say, at the risk of being shot down, your friends are the ones that will say, you need to tell them, you need to stand up to them, you need to draw a boundary, you need to take time out for yourself. So even if you can't find the time, to spend time with those dear friends of yours that always lift you up and that always put you back on track, and I know I'm very blessed in my life to have people like that I can fall on. Know that just remembering that they're there, even if it's just a quick conversation with them, a quick little joke that you share with each other or something, just remembering that energy is there for you. Because your angels work through all sorts of things. Like I say, your angels very often work through your friendships. They come in through all sorts of ways. They come in through songs that they put in our heads to lift us up. They come in through our friendships to remind us how special, how loved, how important. You're just as important as everyone else you're caring for in your life. Okay? Those people that you're caring for in your life at the minute, they it's not that they don't hold you in the same value. They're just not able to see it at the minute, alright? They're not able to see it. They're not able to deal with things as you are. Please remember to reach out to those people who care for you, okay? If you can be with your friends, this is going to be a week which is going to do you really a lot of good. Recharge that beautiful solar plexus, because life is feeling tedious. That's what it showed us in that area. Life is feeling a bit tedious now. You're just plodding along, okay? You need a bit of fun. You need a bit of a catch up with somebody, a bit of a laugh, a bit of a giggle, a bit of a moan and a groan about everything that's going on, and then release it. Don't hold on to it. Don't keep going on about it. Get it all off your chest. Have a little grumble to your best friend or something, and then release it, and then let it go. And then let it go with this moon energy this week now before we go into a new moon, okay? You'll be so much fresher and lighter. Hope this makes sense and I hope it helps. We're coming up to nearly an hour. So, I love you all from the bottom of my heart. You know that. I love to hear from each and every one of you. Please give me a subscribe if you haven't already. It's free. It's easy. There's no catch. Please give me a like, it makes all the difference. Please leave me a comment below, it makes all the difference. Please share, it makes all the difference. thank you so much. Please get in touch with me in any way you can, though. You know I love that. I'm available for private readings. If anyone does want private readings, please recommend me to your friends. Please stay beautiful. Stay in an energy of gratitude as well, okay, as we move forward. Let's acclimatise ourselves to Pisces season, to this deep water we're in. Just remember that this deep, moody feeling that we're in now as well, over the next couple of days, that will change. It will get a little bit easier because then we'll move into Sagittarius, okay? Then we'll be in a Sagittarius moon. We'll still be in the Pisces season, sun season, because it stays in the sun sign for 28 to 30 days and the moon sign changes every 2.5 days, okay? So it will get a little bit easier after a couple of days' time. We'll be in Sag, and Sag is one of the more light-hearted. This is how the universe looks after us. It's absolutely fantastic. It takes us from deep, dark Scorpio to light-hearted Sag, just like that. And we feel it, and we'll be feeling that a lot more lighter in ourselves. Continue to release. It's, like I say, it's a new moon next week. Hopefully I'll be dropping in with you before that, as and when the energies prompt me to see how we're all doing. Let's prepare. Let's get everything ready. Let's get everything clean and tidy and organised, and cast off as much as we can of what we no longer need before that new moon comes in. And let's continue to acclimatise ourselves to this beautiful Pisces energy that we're in, okay, my loves? Thank you once again. I can't thank you all enough. Thank you for sticking with me. I love you all so much. Please take care. Love and light.